All right. Ayush is up next. Has a question around, I want to know how Coho's B2C and then OnDeck's B2B have different types of engagement challenges. This is a great question too, because it goes back to like understanding your community members and like kind of knowing really like how much time they have to contribute, what their expectations are in the first place. So even just to say, I like a little tip is like setting expectations at the start, like when you first onboard members is so key to like how they experience your community like going forward. So Coho, between OnDeck and Coho, especially comparison. So again, OnDeck had a number of programs, like over 20 at one point, and every program had its own specific different flavor. I can speak a bit more to the NoCode one because the type of persona that was coming through was an aspiring founder, somebody who wanted to build an MVP in a short period of time, like between 8 to 10 weeks. So in terms of engagement challenges, you knew that, again, everyone's got like lives, they got family, work, friends, like things going on. But with the OnDeck no code program, people kind of almost set aside like around 2 months and they were committed. They knew they were maybe going to spend 5 to 10 hours a week on like a certain amount of content, whether that was working with other fellows, co-building, building their own MVPs, attending sessions, that kind of thing. So again, going back to that expectation setting, they were more inclined to like contribute more time, and they knew it was like almost like a short sprint. It was like 8 to 10 weeks. And I think thinking of almost like phases in your community like sprints, it helps people frame of like, okay, maybe this is a topic I'm interested in or outcome that I want to achieve, and they can like allocate the time accordingly versus it being more like a marathon. Is it like a 12-month type program? And then so they need to make sure that they pace themselves accordingly so they don't like run out of energy trying to contribute all in the front. So switching gears from the OnDeck to Coho is 12 months instead of like 8 to 10 weeks. So the engagement's much different because we can't expect, each fellow, especially if they're a busy career professional, to contribute 5 to 10 hours each week of like programming. So what we've done instead is tried to make sure everything is async, or there's an async option so people can complete on their own time, their own schedule, and also drastically reduce the amount of live sessions per week. So instead of 5 to 10 hours, maybe it's like an hour max. And that's includes like a mastermind session or like a curated connection. It's really trying to also facilitate more so the conversations and the safe spaces for all these professionals to share, rather than like a set curriculum or like a set tutorial, like how to build something. So I think that's the other thing with the engagement is with Coho and like a lot of the professionals, it's building up that trust within all the members. Whereas maybe like a no code program or like a founders program, they're focused mainly on like an outcome and building an MVP. And that's not to say there's going to be elements of crossover for both, but I'd say the biggest engagement challenge is career professionals with Coho probably don't have a lot of time in the week. So being more mindful of valuable conversations they can have. And then something where it's a build type program for a set period of time, giving people more so the resources to build for their MVP or their certain outcome. And then just in general, like if you've got a community that, isn't like a short sprint, it lasts on a long period of time, engagement wise, just recognizing that there's kind of different phases that people go through. So I think a lot of community professionals notice like in the Northern Hemisphere, when it's the summertime or when there's like, national holidays, engagement kind of dips. It's how do you kind of plan for that so that the members of your community don't feel guilty because they like missed out or they should be contributing when rightfully so they want to spend time with family and friends. It's just kind of like things like that working in with your curriculum, which we're mindful of both my time at OnDeck and Coho going forward. But yeah, great question on, different communities and different potential engagement challenges they both face.